And good morning. It is Monday, July the 14th. That means, what is it, tomorrow? Is it halfway through the month? These weeks just seem to be getting an overdrive. Fast. Welcome. Good morning. Right now we're sitting at 71 as we'll wait for a high a little bit later today, be in the mid-90s, and we'll have a heat index hitting 102. Now, there's a chance of a slight afternoon shower, about 20% chance. It's not much, but it's still in the forecast. The big news today is it's going to be hot, somewhere right around 95, and that heat index, again, making it to 102. That is warm. So be careful if you've got to be outside. Don't overdo yourself. We do realize there's a lot of people that earn a living on the outside and don't have a choice, do they? Just be careful. Don't overheat yourself. It doesn't feel good there. From Louisville, Karina, how in the world are you doing? Richard is up. Also, John joins us. Sheila, good morning there. Mark Ingram as well. I got Odie looking somebody up. Am I right on this guy?
I'm trying to find a list of movies
and y'all,
all kind of stuff.
This has to be him. A guy named Harry Dean Stanton, who was an actor. It caught my eyes that we were getting ready to go on. He's got a list a mile long of movies that he's been in. He's passed away this weekend. Wait a minute. No. He's 99 today. He has not passed away.
Well, no, I just saw where he did pass.
All right, I am right on that?
Yeah, and I'll go back and get the other.
Okay. But I think it was the guy that played in The Green Mile that had Mr. Mouse behind the sail, I think. So he did. He has died many years ago. So never mind all of this. It was he died a few years ago. I got all confused. I saw it wrong. But anyway, it would have been his birthday today. So that's what that's about. I thought he died today. My bad. He passed away in 2017. That's what I get for not reading something, isn't it, Odie?
Toot is what he...
Toot. But I believe he was in that, The Green Mile, the actor there.
So he played Toot. I'm trying to get some more information.
Toot. I'm almost certain.
So I think that is.
Isn't that him?
Mouse Circus.
Mr. Mouse Circus, if I was 2017. So I was a little off on the years, but I caught part of it at the corner of my eye. Oh my. We'll be right back as we get our day underway. We'll find out what's going on at Collinsville. We need to get a good word. I'll get straightened out here in just a second.
You know, what we dwell on in our minds makes a huge difference. Our thoughts don't just stay thoughts. They grow into beliefs, shape our emotions, and eventually steer our words, habits, and decisions. That's why Scripture tells us not just what to think, but also how to think. In Philippians 4:8, Apostle Paul gives a clear mental filter. Finally, brothers, whatever's true, whatever's dignified, whatever's right, whatever's pure, whatever's lovely, whatever's commendable, if there's anything excellent and if anything worthy of praise, consider these things. That's a mental filter. And we're to dwell on these things, which means to intentionally and deeply focus on something. It means to chew on it and savor it until it nourishes our soul. And what are these things we should dwell on? Well, God is calling us to fill our minds with truth and beauty and hope so that these things shape our perspective and influence our attitude and actions. If our thoughts are constantly negative or anxious, bitter, or even sinful, our lives will reflect that. But when our mind is saturated with God's Word and guided by the Spirit, which is always true, dignified, right, pure, lovely, commendable, excellent, and praiseworthy, then peace and purpose will follow. So, beloved, don't let your mind be a dumping ground for lies and fears. Instead, treat it like a garden. Pull the weeds, plant good seed, and let God grow something beautiful in you. Change begins in you.
The Change Begins in You is brought to you in part by Piggly Wiggly of Collinsville, Patrick Allen Companies, Mitchell Tire and Wrecker in Collinsville, and Mowdy Cabinetry.
And welcome back as we get this Monday started. Again, 6:35 as you're waking up to be 71, high of 95. We got your weather forecast up and coming in just a moment. Me and Odie were looking at pictures of that guy. He was in a lot of movies. We go to Chicago for our first story. And I have to say, every now and then, a news reporter stumbles upon something that is all serious but also funny at the same time. We'll try to share the video in just a little bit. With it not being mine, I'm not going to play it, but they interview a guy on the street that thinks he's seen a mountain lion in Chicago. and it is absolutely hilarious, his interpretation of how he run up on the mountain lion. Now, it has not been confirmed. There is a video floating from Chicago that does show a mountain lion going down the street. Again, although we have video, it doesn't necessarily mean that it is real the way things are. You have to have things double checked nowadays the way technology is reached. It looks real, but who knows? We'll see what it has to say about this in the next 24 hours. Let's see here. Do y'all know a guy named Aaron Judge? He is a baseball player. He has now become the fastest to get 350 homers, bettering Mark McGwire. He done it in a lot short of time. Well, how many games did they say it? The fewest player to hit 350 home runs. It took 192 fewer games. 192 fewer games to do that. So congratulations, him. That's a big deal there. Congratulations. Horrible news as we go to, and this is one of those things that just, it's scary to think about it. We go to Delaware. A truck driver was going across the bridge, and we don't know. He's deceased at this point, but it could have been a cardiac arrest or a medical emergency. He ran off the road 3 lanes and then crashed over the edge. Had to use special equipment to retrieve him from below, but oh boy, sad news on that. We have a dentist. You don't think of these things, but I guess some people will go to great measures to take out spouses. A dentist is accused of poisoning his wife's protein shakes. He's going on trial. That's downright mean.
Yeah.
What does that tell us? Don't be ugly to your spouse. They're the ones that fix your food. They can get you. Man or female. Y'all watch that. We have a Bay Area in California. There's a guy that identified himself as, well, a police officer semi. Said he was a bounty hunter. It turned out he had no license to be a bounty hunter. After they searched, he had blue lights and a whole bunch of things. He was ex-military. He's been arrested and charged with impersonating a police officer. What was he doing? We don't know. Maybe he meant well, but he went about it the wrong way. Then again, the investigation is early. They have arrested him at this point. Now, let's think back 5 years ago. The nation was in a tizzy as we go back to the days of you had to have a shot to do anything. Americans were being fired from their jobs all because they wouldn't take a COVID shot. We had church services being forced to cancel, preachers being arrested. Do y'all remember this? I do. It was like we were living in another country all of a sudden.
Yeah.
We were almost under military. Well, we didn't have it, but they sure acted like it. We were never under martial law. But at times it seemed as that if you couldn't eat at a restaurant without it. My, oh my. We see this morning that charges have been dropped against a doctor for dumping $28,000 worth of COVID shots during that. What did he do? A patient came in and they said he didn't want it. And again, you got to remember, you couldn't get a place to eat in like New York and places of that. He gave you a card anyway and dumped the vaccine. The Biden administration was going to prosecute him and charge him for stealing. The Trump administration have dropped all charges against him and anybody that worked in his office. So how do you feel? Do you think he done the right thing?
Yeah.
True American, in my opinion.
Yeah.
You can't force us to do things. Our next story leads us to Colorado. And if you live alone, you should always have a cell phone with you, especially if you work, let's just go ahead and say this, if you work on a farm, if you work in remote areas away from where people passing by can't see you, always have a cell phone on you. A grandmother, she used to be a nurse, 75 years old, was out on her, what she would call a farm, hooking up a trailer to her ATV. Somehow or another it rolled, broke her leg. Serious. She couldn't walk. She would crawl for the next 14 hours trying to get back to her house. Now, from the best I can understand, she never reached the house. 14 hours later, her son dropped by to check on her, and she was rushed. She's going to be okay, but it was a Very serious wound. What if there had been rain, it had been cold, it would have turned out different. She's okay, but keep that in mind, especially keep that in a pocket somewhere in case you were to get in a bind. And there's always that option on there, what is it, Siri? That if you can't dial, you could do it by voice. Technology is good in some ways. Just remember that, to keep that handy if you're going to be alone working in remote areas. And it helps in a home as well if you've fallen. Siri will call, won't she? Sometimes she'll do it when you don't want to.
You got that right.
I've had that happen. Pickle juice. Now, I've always heard that if you get a cramp, to take a little bit of pickle juice, it makes it go away. They're also saying that this is good for dehydration. But also check with your doctor in case you got heart trouble or something. But just something to keep in mind as we go up on these hot days. Pickle juice. Now, I ain't telling you it's the greatest tasting thing, but it does make cramps go away if you get one in your leg and it just won't stop. There's seriously people that have horrible pains with this. I've been blessed. I remember as a kid getting some, but as an adult, I hadn't had any. Swimmers often get that, don't they, Odie? When they're swimming, they get a cramp, and it can be bad. So just be careful there. Let's see here. Here's something that hasn't made headlines very much in America this morning, or over the last few weeks. You know, they've been offering this. You could self-deport yourself if you're an illegal alien in the U.S. of A. I hadn't heard much about that. It's been offered. They're saying that there's been about 1 million that have actually done that. Well, those aren't making the headlines of the, I think Odie worded it, the 3-letter networks, I think is how you put it.
That's it.
I like that. You may work for a 3-letter network one day. I like that. Good one there. But 1 million self-deported. Let's see what else is happening this morning. Capital gains. We briefly mentioned this last week. He's working on a bill that could eliminate capital gains taxes on home sales. Think about that. Sell your house and you have to quickly invest it. That would be good. I hope that happens there. Let's see here. I don't know all the facts of this, but this is starting to shake out. Do you remember the January 6th crew, the people that investigated this under Biden, and they were quickly pardoned by Biden before the administration went in? The auto pen did it. They're going to dig into this a little bit further on this. It was done at the direction of assistant of Biden. They're saying not Biden, but an assistant. We'll see where this goes. You know, from the love of Jesus Christ allows us to do sometimes things that we would think that are, well, impossible. This one I would have to go, Jesus, what you mean by all this? We have a cop that was shot it was 1982, a bank robbery happened. A guy was following him, a young cop that was in his early 20s and chasing a suspect. By the time he got him pulled over and went up to the window, the bank robber shot him. The guy's been in prison since then, since he shot the cop. The cop ended up living. They've met again after 43, 44 years, and he says he forgives him for shooting him. That's a tough one, isn't it? I guess God gives us strength at times when we didn't think he would. What was it that Paul Thorne said? I'm not Jesus.
That's right.
And I don't forgive as easy. I'm glad they got that worked out. That'd be a toughie there to do there. In California, they had a ICE raid going on, and it looks as though someone fired at the police. They're offering $50,000 in California for the person who is responsible firing the weapon. No one was hurt, but they could have been. 50 grand. We'll see what becomes of that. I never watched the TV show Scrubs. Did anybody do that? It wasn't my kind of show. But it looks like there's going to be a reboot. It was some form of comedy, so to speak, but it's coming back to a television near you if you're into that show. Have y'all seen, over the last 6 months, I've watched it and it looked horrible, Justin Bieber? He's looked rough and rougher. I don't know what he's got going on in his life, but over the weekend he has dropped a new album, Swag. If you're a Justin Bieber fan there, it was a surprise. Take advantage of it if you like his kind of music. Now, I'm not going to be able to pronounce this, so we'll just tell you where it is. Let's go to Alaska. We've got a volcano that's been rumbling for the last few days. It's been 100 years since it erupted. Now, there is a slight chance that it could be an avalanche beginning to start, but they hear the rumbling. We'll call it Lamino? I'm not real good at that, but it's a volcano there in Alaska. So be careful if you're in Alaska. They're digging for gold there, friends. This one sends chills up my spine. I'm one of those, I wouldn't say that I'm claustrophobic, but I'm not real fond of being in elevators with a lot of people and it going up and the power going off. That often crosses my mind. Y'all ever done that? I think I've been hung in one or two elevators in parking garages around town, and I didn't like it at all. I was calm.
It's hard to get you back on.
Right. And here, this was just a few weeks ago. First time in my life I've ever been in any kind of tube where they had to check my heart again. And I had to stay, I think it was 15 minutes. So I just kind of remained calm. You have to go inside the tube. But apparently, hyperbaric chamber to where they put oxygen in your body. I'm just going to scare you. You might not ever want to do this again. Let me see what state this was in. This happened Wednesday night, Arizona. And he was a doctor that was inside this hyper. Now, as I get down, let me tell you about how this works here, what it's used for. A hyperbaric chamber can be used for any number of treatments, such as pumps highly concentrated oxygen into your body. It's used for therapy. Often unregulated healthcare facilities use it. Y'all want to know what went wrong? It caught on fire. He died quickly. Can you? I'm trying to. Being in the tube itself would make me nervous. That even makes it even more that I wouldn't want to go do a treatment like this that really isn't a true medical.
We use them in the diving community.
You use it in the diving community, y'all go right ahead. I ain't doing it. If that's what it takes to be a diver, I'm not going to be one, Odie.
Depends on how deep you go.
Oh. And again, this could go back to where it's unregulated. It could be that the machines aren't checked. It's kind of like going to the fairgrounds, the rides, not being checked daily to make sure everything's okay. That could be the problem. What went wrong? We don't know, but sad news for that. Alabama making headlines. Triplets in Alabama. The family had been trying for 10 years to have kids. They now have 3. What does that mean? No sleep for the next 10 years. Good luck to them. I often see headlines, and a man of the cloth is supposed to be looked at very high. Sometimes I think men of the cloth say too much, and we've got an archbishop that's slamming the immigrant detention center, saying that it's unbecoming and corrosive. No, we didn't ask you, did we? Bless it. Now, let's talk about what happened over the weekend. As many of you go to church, and there's something that is different than when we were all kids. Armed security guards in churches. I hate to admit this, but you need one. If you go to a church and you do not have a security team, y'all need to get together and put a plan together. Let's talk about what happened this weekend when a suspect ran from police and he would end up in a small Kentucky church around Lexington, Kentucky. 2 people in the congregation were murdered by him. Police ended up taking him out. Who is he? I won't show you the picture that he had posted online because it would make you mad. It makes me mad to even glance at it. He was a Free Palestine Muslim named Guy E. Houston. He didn't like Christians at all. There are truly, even more so this day and time, more people that don't like Christians. Be prepared for what happens. There's a reason that all churches, even the small, When was that a few years ago? It was the Amish that was attacked. Do y'all remember that? That was one of the first times I'd ever heard of a church being attacked by someone. It was someone who went into an Amish church and hurt a lot of people. We're seeing this more and more and more. I urge you, we may be small town USA where we are, but that doesn't mean that it can't happen in your hometown. Be prepared for whatever happens. And if nothing happens, then hey, it's a blessing. But just be prepared for what's happening there. Bad guy taken out in the end, though. I don't know what this means of what I'm fixing to tell you. I'm just going to read you exactly what he said. Donald J. Trump has issued a statement. And he says, we're not going to have it. If a communist gets elected to run New York, it can never be the same. But we have tremendous power at the White House to run places when we have to. Trump didn't elaborate on what authority it would be. He turned his focus to the national capital. So he's saying if something goes wrong with this election, the White House could take over. I don't know the authority, I don't know the background, but you need to know that in case there becomes a little mess there. Looks like Wyoming is going to be getting a new coal mine. It hadn't happened in decades. My, oh my. We got some people upset here. And the moral of this story is the United States has been paying for, well, everything for everyone. South Africa, they're a little upset this morning. U.S. sent an email, said, we ain't paying no more. Figure out how to fund your HIV program now.
Okay.
It's been cut off. How about Russia sent a little money? The UK, someone else could pick up where we've been doing. They're not happy, and there's going to be ugly remarks said about this, so y'all just be ready for this. Over the weekend, $122 million was spent to go see Superman. Is that good? I know something last week that scored $140 million. I don't know. I still have Superman from 1977.
It's gotten too wild. Yeah.
I hope they didn't take it down some weird path. Superman is Superman. He's the good guy. After watching The Incredible Hulk, it really burnt me. That was awful. I don't know if y'all ever watched that one. Oh. And then we had Captain America that was good for one episode, and then they went and changed.
Little worms from outer space.
Yeah, had them outer space people. Make it realistic. If you can't believe it, see, and that's the thing about it. Let me give some advice to movie producers and also songwriters. If you can't put yourself in the place of the hero, it's not a hit. If you can't imagine a song and put yourself in what they're singing about, it's not a hit.
Gotta have a story.
Telling you, Odie's sitting over there singing Daytime Friends and Nighttime Lovers. I'm just joking. We'll be right back with your forecast. Don't run off. We'll be right back.
Hi, this is Nick at Doc's Toyota, and we are excited to put you in a new Toyota today. We have no dealer markup, no hidden fees, no hassle, and our inventory is always priced to move. Our top-notch sales department and first-class service after the sale guarantees you a fast and comfortable buying experience like you've never had. So come see why month after month, more and more customers have chose to buy from Doc's Toyota. So come see us here at Doc's Toyota in Philadelphia, at docstoyota.com or on Facebook, and remember, there's no deal like a Doc's deal.
For over 40 years, you've been able to count on Watt Equipment in DeKalb, Mississippi. They've got your Massey Ferguson's brand new 23 up to 135 horse cab and air tractors. They've got all your hay equipment needs, all your bush hogs. If your tractor needs it, they got it. Also remember, they service all makes and models, whether it's green, orange, blue, red, or yellow. They can get your parts in, they can do your service on your equipment. Don't forget Watt Equipment, DeKalb, Mississippi.
Welcome back as we get into the forecast this morning. Let's get it going.
Your forecast is brought to you by EMEPA.
Our record highs and record lows, it was 1980. Can y'all remember 107 degrees? I was 11 years old. It had to have been hot. It was very cool. I wasn't around in 1918, but it was 59 on this day back in 1918. No forecast from Jackson. We're waiting on it. I've been waiting weeks. Let's go on over to Alabama. They sent one. 94 in Demopolis. We'll see 94 there in Birmingham as well. Off to our east over in Auburn country. Looks like to be about 95. And Montgomery is pegging it there at 97 today. Now, as we look at this, we have continued heat stress. We're expecting at least 102 today in the Meridian area, all the way back to Jackson and Vicksburg. As we look at this, the rest of the week will be a little bit hotter in Jackson and also the Laurel-Hattiesburg area. 110 in those areas. The Meridian area should hover between 100 and 105. Keep it in mind with what you have to do outside. As you look at the nation, the South is just the heat wave, isn't it? All across from Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Bama to Georgia and down to Florida. Now, here's our 7-day forecast as we look at this. 95 today, 74 for a low tonight. We've had a tweak in the forecast. It started out at a 30% chance, and they've changed this since 3:30 this morning. It's down to a 20% chance now. Still a 30% chance of rain in the forecast for tomorrow. But look at this as the rest of the week climbs. By Wednesday, 40. Thursday, 60. Friday, you're going to get wet. 80% chance, 70% on Saturday and Sunday. Still a 50% chance in that forecast. This is a wet July. I got to say, as we go all the way through the 28th, we're still slight chances every day in the forecast. It's just going to be perfect for the Neshoba County Fair, isn't it? Kind of goes hand in hand. As we look here, let's go to our fishing forecast today. The wind's going to be west around 5 this afternoon. Our major times to fish will be this afternoon about 3 o'clock. Should be good through about 5 p.m. Now, we've got a minor time at 9 o'clock this morning from 9 to 10 a.m. if you need to go fishing. Grab those worms, you'll enjoy it. Sunrise happened at 5:55 this morning. Sunset will last until 8:03 this afternoon. Now, here's something that we are watching from the National Hurricane System. A 30% chance at this point of a storm developing either sometime between Thursday and Saturday in the Gulf of America. Now, it could come anywhere from Mississippi, Louisiana, even over to Texas. Now, again, it's only a 30%, but we are watching this. And again, the odds of that coming ashore would develop somewhere around Thursday to Saturday, and his name will be Dexter if this develops. Isn't that a scary movie or something about Dexter?
Yeah.
It's one of those creepy shows, isn't it? A horror show. Yeah, we don't need him to be showing out, do we? We certainly hope not. As we go to radar this morning, let's pull up Doc's Toyota radar as we go here. A lot of fog in the Mississippi Delta. If you're anywhere near Duck Hill, Grenada, Greenwood, Winona, up around Vaden, it's thick, and more thick. No rain anywhere else in the great state of Mississippi. We do have a little bit down here on the coast here. Let me turn this on where we can click on this and show you this as we show this heat wave there that's happening from Louisiana heat advisory all the way to Biloxi. Look at that, Gulfport, Escatawpa, Moss Point, all that waveling under a heat wave. Be careful, especially if you're in Houma, Louisiana. Nothing much else going on except some showers there around Apalachicola, Florida. Otherwise, we're sitting pretty. We'll be back in say 60 seconds or so, in a minute or so. We'll start the show over as Odie joins us, and we'll tell you all about our special guest. It's all up and coming as the young ladies are here in Meridian. We'll be right back.